Hello everyone, and welcome back to a new episode of Prismata. There are a lot of people playing right now because it is the free weekend on Steam is when I am recording this. I mean, it's going up like, I don't know, a week after that, which is why I released that bonus episode during the free weekend to let people know. But for me, this is still the free weekend, and there's a whole bunch of new people streaming. There's a lot going on in global chat that I don't really want to read right now. Like, I don't know. I looked through it and it was like people arguing about whether the fact that tickets exist means the game is pay to win or what. Anyway, okay, so here we are in ranked. How lovely. We're playing against Zom. What is going on in this set? Is Apollo playable? I feel like Electivores would rush down Apollo before you can get there, right? So I think we're just gonna like play turn 2 Animus into Tarsiers / Vores. Yeah, that sounds good to me. And I'll build Tarsiers first if he has a Blast Forge ready, or I'll just go straight into Vores if he like doesn't do that. Interesting. Alright, well, Vores it is then. I think. Let's see, these Vores are going to attack for 2, and then probably only attack for 1 on the next turn, because I'll want to hold one back. Conversely, if I built 2 Tarsiers, I'd have to like build Rhinos to defend. I could build Tarsier plus Vor, I guess. But I think 2 Vores is a fine number to have. Okay, fine. I'll build a Rhino. You got me. I'm attacking for 2. So I'd really like to get a wall, though. The question is, do I want like a Chrono Filter? I do, but I just hate that I'm floating my red if I do that, right? Like, I could build a Tarsier and an Engie, and that accomplishes something. Right? It replaces the Engie that he's threatening to kill. And in fact, probably will kill. But having access to blue is going to be really amazing. If I can... I don't know. I don't think I can afford to spend all of that tech, so we'll just do something quiet like this. He's picking up a Blast Forge. Fine. That's another way to get access to blue. I think a Chrono Filter is better, though, because it's a smaller investment, and you can, like, I don't know. Maybe it's not better. Yeah, let's just make it hard for him to do that. Right, like if he has to wall here, I guess, what is he getting? Tarsier... Well, okay, hang on. Yeah, I do need a Rhino, because he is attacking for maybe 1, but probably not. What if I were to get that Chrono Filter now? Next turn, I could, like, wall, leaves me with 9. I still can't spend all my tech, so it's not that great. I think I'm just gonna, like, Rhino Engie, and play this mono red. And the fact that I have more attackers will make up for the better absorb that he's getting, is my plan. Maybe someday, since I've been building up this stack of engineers and Electivores, I'll be able to build a Rhino, to get access to blue. So he's definitely attacking for at least 2, possibly 3, but very, very likely not, right? In order to even keep this Rhino alive, he has to defend badly. To keep it alive and attack with it seems disastrous for him. So I think he's attacking for only 2, which means I lose 1 engineer. I mean, I could do this. Build an engineer, or I'll just float the gold. Maybe I'll find some way to make use of it. Yeah, because I won't need the NG, I'll have the Rhinos defend. That's when I can maybe find a break in tempo to get blue, is when I have a Rhino defending. Yeah, it's looking pretty rough for him. I think committing to a full Blast Forge was just very, very difficult to do. Hang on, do I want... I lost an engineer. I shouldn't... I knew I was losing an engineer. I don't know why I thought I could build this Electivore and... Oh well. Okay, I guess we'll attack with those. 4 is losing Rhino, NG, Vor, so we need 2 more NGs to keep these powered. I guess we're not getting blue after all, huh? This gives him a break, though, building 2 slow Tarsiers and having a turn with less attack. This is all stuff he's happy to have happen. But I don't know, like, I just feel so far ahead that how can I lose, right? He's really only attacking for... Oh no, he's attacking for the full 5, that's true. So that's 2. So we need like another Rhino, NG... Tarsier? It's probably late enough in the game that I shouldn't be building more Tarsiers. Just build another Rhino as a like a more immediate attacker. So if he attacks for 5, hang on, I need more NGs, don't I, for this? Because 5 is losing Rhino, I guess, which is fine. But it means I don't need the NG? I don't know. I might as well build it in case he like needs to hold back a Vor or something. Here he's really has to lose 1 attack, but not 2. So he'll be attacking for 5, which is lose Rhino, Rhino onto Rhino. I'm starting to worry a little bit. But I don't know. I'm attacking for so much more than he is. I looked back at one of my really early games where I like was going Electivore Rush. And I was so, like, watching myself, it was so funny because I was so afraid I was behind. I was like, oh, he just, like, look at all these Tarsiers he's building. Like, he had 2 Tarsiers and I had 8 Electivores, and, like, that was the whole game. And I, like, thought I was behind. Kind of funny. Okay. So here, again, this time he's losing probably 2 attacks, so he's attacking just for 4. 2 Rhinos defends that comfortably, along with the Engineer. But again, we'll build an engineer in case he holds back a Vor. Well, we knew he was holding back 1 Vor. This was in case he held back another. No, don't defend like that. 6, but he's losing how much attack? He's losing both of these guys, probably, right? So he has 4, which is Rhino. Yeah, we kind of need that Blast Forge, huh? Okay. So anyway, he has 4 attack, it looks like, which is Rhino, NG, Rhino. That's fine. So right now I have more attack than he does. My rhinos are running out, which is like, you know, oh well, too bad. It sort of looks like he has more defense because he has blue and walls and all this stuff. But my Electivores can turn into defenders quite comfortably. Like, all of this stuff I'm committing to attack, but whenever I want, I can turn it into defense instead. Just by not attacking. Like, let him kill an engineer at some point, right? But I don't even really have to do that yet. Hang on, how much is he attacking for? He's losing a rhino, so... He's attacking for 4, which is just this dead rhino onto the wall. So I can actually get another Electivore and keep it online. I mean, yeah, sure, you can choose to lose another defense to make me not attack for as much, but that's just like giving up the health now instead of next turn. Doesn't seem that great. Okay, yeah. I felt way ahead pretty much all game there. And... like, that's because I was player 2. This is a much easier set for player 2 than for player 1, simply because, like, Fastimus is so strong. With Electivores. And there's just not much else going on here. So... Should player 1 get a turn 2 Animus here? Maybe. It won't be an easy game, but I think you'll at least be less far behind. And it'll be harder for player... It'll be easier for player 2 to make a mistake if you do that, I think. This Blast Forge was a reasonable attempt to take advantage of his extra economy that he got from, like, waiting longer to go for attackers. I still think, like, a Chrono Filter might have been good. You can sort of, like, float a little gold to that turn, like, build walls occasionally, but attackers more often. Right? Building 1 wall per turn feels pretty bad with such a low economy. So you would like, ideally, to only have 1 blue every other turn. Well, okay. Ideally, I'd love to have unlimited access to blue, right? But if I have to pay money for it, I might prefer to have, like, access to blue every other turn and a bit more red. I don't know. It's hard to say. I guess that's probably not true, because blue is, like, sort of strictly better than red here, because a Steel Splitter basically costs 6 in a... well, actually costs 6 in a blue, and an Electivore kind of costs 6 in a red, once you have enough that you're building engineers to support them. And so in that context, I'd rather have a blue than a red, so why would I, like, build this Chrono Filter to have sometimes blue-red and sometimes neither, when I could just have, like, always blue? It costs $1 more, but I don't think that's that huge a consideration. Yeah, so I think the Blast Forge was right, and, like, if you ever get in a position where you can afford to spend the blue on Steel Splitters, great. But if you don't, then it's nice to have the blue. So, I don't know. He was just, like, super, super dead. So I think letting me get the Electivores, or get the first Animus, just makes the game very difficult for him. Maybe there's something he can do about it, I'm not sure. My best attempt would be to look at this set and see how good the turn 2 Animus is for player 2 and say, like, look, I can't compete with, you know, in Electivore plus nothing, player 2's gonna win that if you let him get the first Animus. So I think player 1 should get the first Animus and try to outrush player 2. But I don't know. I'm not an expert on Electivore games for sure. Nawal, he did well in today's tournament. He went 7-0 in the Swiss. So what is this all about? Red blue looks amazing. Vi looks amazing. I would like to get Vi. There's no red sync though, which you usually want to go with Vi. Ooh, third engineer, huh? That's interesting. I mean, there's Infusion Grid, there's Polywall, so maybe you're right. But there's also Blood Rager and Vi to neutralize those things. And so I'm sort of like, I would like to do a lower economy kind of thing. The problem is that if you start with a turn 2 Animus, you're never really going to get up to Vi. It's just not going to happen, I don't think. You need a bit more economy for that. But I think, especially with Hellhound, to let you spend your like tech more cheaply, I think having a smaller number of drones is okay. And so I'm going to try this. Try to get some Blood Ragers against the early defenders he builds to make his extra defense not that appealing. And see where we go from there. This, of course, is to get me up to 3 attack, so I can build a Blood Rager. And if he doesn't build a wall to deny me Blood Rager value, I'm fine with that too. Ooh, Polywall, huh? That seems really dangerous. You're gonna get no value out of that Polywall. I mean, he's threatening Hellhounds, which is, like, good for him. I hope to show that that's no good, but we'll see. I mean, Hellhounds are good units. I would like to have some. I just, right now, Blood Ragers are a bigger, Really? Blood Ragers look better for me at the moment, is all. I wanted to get the attack out quickly, so I couldn't afford to spend money on blue. Maybe next turn I can pick one up, get like Blood Rager, float a red, and buy a Blast Forge with the rest of my money. Because right now we have 3, 5, 6 damage threatening, so his Polywall is going to be awful if he wants to build it. I don't think he will. I think he'll want to build like 2 Hellhounds. I could build a Tarsier here, or I could build a Blast Forge. I think I will build a Blast Forge, just because Wall is going to be quite good against the 2 Hellhounds he wants to build next turn. Actually, if I build a Blast Forge, he won't build 2 Hellhounds. He'll build 2 Tarsiers, right? But then what's he doing, like, with his blue? Nothing, right? So he kind of is forced to build Hellhounds here by his tech. And so a wall will be good value. And if it's not, then, like, I can build an Infusion Grid, or I can build a Hellhound or something. This blue will not go to waste. It's a shame that I'm wasting the red this turn, but I should be okay. It's a bit awkward to spend my tech next turn unless I build a Hellhound, right? Like, it has to be Hellhound Tarsier. Nothing else actually works very well. Or Hellhound Rhino. Yeah, maybe Hellhound Rhino is what we're going to do, actually. I'd like to get an Infusion Grid, but like if I do, I'm floating red again, which feels pretty bad. And this gives me the opportunity to attack with this Rhino, which is useful at the moment. I'm obviously floating these $2 so I can do something a little bit more useful with my money next turn. I'm way up on attack, and what does he have to show for it? He has, you know, several more drones and another Blast Forge. both of which are quite useful in a game with Hellhounds. Well, the Blast Sword especially. The drones are useful in general. The Blast Sword is useful, like, because of the Hellhounds. So I'm gonna get that Infusion Grid down. This gives him very poor Blood Rager value next turn, because he's actually killing 2 Engineers with his attack. And then just 2 more Tarsiers. A wall would be quite poor, because he would just Blood Rager it. This denies him that opportunity and gets me a better unit. If he Blood Ragers here, I'm perfectly happy. I would describe myself, in fact, as thrilled to see a Blood Rager come down. And he now has 4, 3, 5, 7 attacks, so he's not going to be getting any more Blood Ragers. And the one he did get is bad value. Or at any rate, mediocre value. So we're building a Tarsier here. That seems pretty clear. Should I build an Engie or float the money? He's attacking for 7. I'll have 1 Engineer left, plus the one that's coming in here, plus this Rhino. That's 4, plus my Infusion Grid is 8 available defense. Sorry, is that right? I'd rather have the Engineer. Yeah. So that he has to put on quite a bit of additional pressure to force me to build a wall. And it's going to be hard for him to do that since we're attacking so much. Yeah, so Arkanishu arranged a tournament for... Oh, give me that Blood Rager value. Oh. Anyway, arranged a tournament to celebrate the free weekend. That was open to anyone, and it was free entry, and I don't know where he got the $100 for the prize pool, whether it was his or what, but I'm really kind of bummed, though, about this Blood Rager, because I can't quite afford a Hellhound. If I'd cut the Engineer, I could. I did not expect him to build a Polywall, since that seems like a pretty bad choice. But let's build another Tarsier. That's too greedy. Let's build a... I can't build a Rhino. Tarsier is, like, quite greedy here. But I think that's fine. I have access to blue, I can wall, you know, whatever. Anyway, to celebrate the free weekend, Arkanishu organized a tournament that anyone could enter, and he put $100 into the prize pool. And there ended up being 13 entrants, and it was a 7-round Swiss, and the wall went 7-0. I've spoken to him, by the way, and his username stands for "Not all who wander are lost," which I assume is like a reference to the Hearthstone. What's it called? That's what Prophet Velen says when you summon him. Maybe Prophet Velen is itself a reference to something else. I don't know, but anyway, so he did quite well. Went 7-0, and in the finals, well, the post-finals, where the winner gets to play a best-of-5 against Arkanishu, he got absolutely demolished, which, you know, makes a lot of sense since Arkanishu is a very strong player. Polywall pretty good right now, right? Isn't it? Because, like, it's probably not. What if I do this? What if I built 2 Blood Pacts and a grid? Is that crazy? It's a good way to get another Infusion Grid, which is quite handy. Because, like, a wall just isn't quite right. A Polywall is pretty good, but it means I can't do anything with the rest of my tech. He'll have to kill it, and then he's wasting 2 attack against my Infusion Grid, which is, like, pretty cool. Good for me. But... you know, he can't, importantly, he can't Blood Rager against it. But it wastes all of my red. And I kind of think, like, okay, Blood Pact is not something you generally want to spam, but it's, like, okay value. And it lets me get this out. Which I think is quite useful, so I'm going to go for that. Anyway, as I was saying, he lost Arcanishu, which, like, Arcanishu's a beast. Of course you lose to Arcanishu. He did very well in the tournament. And I don't think I've played against him before. Oh, and he has the best avatar. Way to go, Mr. Ossified Drone Buddy. Do I have, No, I don't have any ossified emotes. We're already perfectly granular, so I don't need to click this. I can just build a Blood Pact Hellhound. That's pretty cool. Let me get out some more actual attack. Like, Hellhounds are nuts. Anytime you get to build one, like, you should be pretty happy. I don't know. I feel like he's sort of caught up. He has nearly as much attack as I do. And more drones. Like, a lot more drones. He's able to continue building attack more easily than I am. I thought I was winning. I'm no longer so sure. Like, I don't necessarily think I'm losing, but I'm not... I can't tell. Especially if he can actually attack with these Grim Botches, right? Okay, well, as long as he's having to Blood Pact too, I feel okay about my life, I think. Yeah, I mean, okay. Polywall also, like, not that great for him. He's like $1 short of being able to do this plus Blood Pact, which he would love to do, I'm sure. Whoa. Hold back Grimbotch to build Infusion Grid? That doesn't feel right to me. I'm happy to see this. Can I do another, like, Blood Pact plus Hellhound kind of thing? I can, although this actually, like, wastes... It spends my tech too cheaply. So what if I built Wall, Tarsier... I still can't really do anything, right? So... What if I built, like... Blood Pact to spend some red, and then what's the best way to do this? I guess, like... Tarsier Grid? To squeeze in a bit more attack? Was it warning me that Blood Pact supplies are running low? No. Tarsiers are running low. Okay, that makes more sense. Tarsier is so greedy. So greedy. Am I really going to be able to put together... Let's see, he'll be attacking for... well, he's losing 2 of this attack here, so that's 11. I'll have 2 engineers plus 2 grids left. Yeah, I should be able to defend after that. Alright, he got to add a Hellhound. Well done. Can I play a similar turn here? Yeah, I don't need to click this if I'm building the... I don't need to click Infusion Grid if I'm also Blood Pacting, because this makes me granular. And, like, he should have a pretty tough time building enough defense to deal with this. I didn't play in the tournament, by the way. I did watch a bit. Okay, so this is, like, kind of serious now. But I guess I can defend sort of comfortably. And he's probably attacking for only 14, right? He's probably holding a Grimbotch back. How did his attack get to be larger than mine? What happened? I don't approve of this at all. I guess it didn't, right? We're both building all these blood pacts. And that's inflating everybody's attack numbers. And I have a Grimbotch to hold back now, which is nice. I'm not having to hold them back early like he has been. I really can't build another... well, you know what I should do is get another grid down. I was thinking building a Tarsier, like Wall Tarsier, instead of Blood Pact Grid. But I think Blood Pact Grid is clearly better. Yeah. I'm almost out of Blood Pacts, though. The unit is a lot better than it was when it cost when it had the 4 Lifespine Grimbotches. And with my Grimbotches timing out, I think I ought to be okay here. Like, next turn it should be quite easy to defend. It's just like whether I can keep it up. I'm already perfectly granular. I can just build, like... Can I get a Hellhound? Yeah, Hellhound Rhino is actually kind of cool because I'm not going to need all of this defense, right? He's losing at least one Grimbotch and holding back another, so he's really attacking for like 13. So arguably I don't even need the Rhino, but it threatens attack, right, which is pretty good. And it can defend if I need it to. And I get this last Hellhound, which is pretty gross. It's defense for next turn as well as attack. So he is losing here a Grimbotch. I don't actually have to defend if I don't want to. He could Gambit to lose everything except the 2 Grimbotches if he wanted to do that, and attack me. So I need to make sure I don't offer him a really juicy Gambit. But building the Rhino, like, I don't expect to defend with the Rhino because he won't be attacking for everything, but I have it available so that the breach isn't even good for him. I got an achievement, Executioner. Cool. Well, we'll look at what that was about later. I believe it's for dealing a large number of damage over the course of a whole game. So what was the deal here? We had more damage all game. He had way more economy all game. And we both flatlined at like exactly the same time, right? Just I had way less economy at the time because I cut drones while he built a 3rd Engie, as I recall. Yeah, it's kind of funny. He just droned for 1/2 turn longer than I did, and then we both stopped and just built lots of red-blue stuff. That's cool. Yeah, so I think... I still don't know whether Vi is good in this game. There's like a lot of stuff that you would like Vi to freeze, which is nice. And red-blue is good, which is also good for Vi. But there's not really a red sync. There's a blue sync, which is like Hellhound. I mean, it costs 5, and so calling it a blue sync is a little bit weird, but it's really like... build this when you would have built a Tarsier, but you also sink some blue into it to make it better, is one way to think of Hellhound. And so you can sort of think of Hellhound as a way to spend blue more cheaply than usual, but not really spend... Oh, I mean, I don't know. You could probably think of it either way, but if you're building Vi and worried about being over-teched, you're not going to be able to build a large number of Hellhounds to sink all your red. You'll just sort of be able to sink your blue into all the Tarsiers you were having to build anyway. And like Blood Pact is sort of a red sink for a little while. It'll help you defend. So I don't know. It seems like it could be just playable to get out Vi, right? But with Blood Rager around, and especially with my opponent going third engineer, signaling that he's going to be defending and building high health defenders, that told me it was time to take the offensive and use Blood Ragers to punish whatever absorbers he makes. I only expected to get one Blood Rager. He offered me a second, which was very kind of him. This is sort of the classic turn player 2 Blood Rager opening, right? 2 Tarsiers into Tarsier Rhino to get you up to 3, very normal. And here was an interesting turn. Obviously we build the Blood Rager, and the question is, like, do we dip into blue now, or continue spending our red? I think it's good to dip into blue because, like, Hellhounds are just so much better than Tarsiers that it's worth missing one to get the other. But I could be wrong. And he was building attack numbers that were just very, very comfortable for me to defend. Here, I think, is a spot where I think many players might build just a wall. And I don't know, I guess there's some argument that that could be good. But if you... And it would be good if Infusion Grid weren't in the set. Well, yes. I'm not sure. But if Blood Rager weren't in the set, like... let me try again. With both Blood Rager and Infusion Grid in the set, it is clearly wrong to build a wall here. If you remove either one of them, I'm not really sure. Maybe you should build a wall. Or maybe you should do something else. But you can just see that, like, your opponent has 3 attack. If you build a wall, he's just going to ignore it and build a Blood Rager. By not building an Absorber, you make his Blood Rager value weaker. And, okay, yes, your wall value is weaker, but it was going to be 0. So, like, you might as well get a better wall next turn than a useless wall this turn, right? And then he's left with a tough choice of, like, do you Blood Rager or do you do something else? I think Blood Rager is wrong, but I could be wrong about it. But the important thing is to offer him a choice where, like, he has 2 mediocre or bad choices instead of 1 great choice and 1 awful choice. And that's what this Infusion Grid does. It gives him 2 options, both of which are bad, instead of 1 good one and 1 bad one. And it gets me a little extra value. Anyway, and it fits nicely with my building 2 Tarsiers. A wall would do the same, of course. But we get 1 extra health out of it. And indeed, 1 extra absorb, which is a very big deal. He builds a Blood Rager anyway. I don't like it, as I mentioned. Something I didn't think about when assessing this set, I don't think I mentioned, and I don't remember whether I thought that hard about it, is that another argument for going low econ is Blood Pacts, right? They're a very cheap way to spend red, and that's sort of what you want if you're doing this rush, is like a way to stay alive for long enough that all the attackers you built in the early game can grind your opponent down. So access to Blood Pact made a really big difference in the late game. And maybe if, like, the exact same strategies were played, but just remove Blood Pact, maybe I'm losing. I don't know. I think I just, like, both of us would have been a bit weaker, but my Blood Pacts were a lot better than his were. And, you know, Polywall helped him a lot. That's an argument for going higher econ, right, is Polywalls. And Infusion Grid, also. I had trouble spending all my tech on just 11 drones. But this polywall, I think, was pretty dangerous and probably a mistake. If I had cut this engineer, I could make his polywall an even worse play by building Blood Rager Hellhound. I don't know if that's really worth thinking about too much in whether I should build the engineer, because polywall is just such a disastrous play. Because I have 9 attack and like that's 6+3, and you don't want to give me that. I don't think. On the other hand, like, I don't know, it made me waste a blue, right? Given that I had built this extra engineer, in order to get value out of his polywall, I had to do some stuff that was not so great. And so it sort of left me with 2 awkward choices instead of 1 great one, right? So there, you know, maybe it's not so bad. If I had cut an engineer, it absolutely would be awful to build a polywall here. I felt good about it during the game, but I don't know if I was right. Having to waste this blue in order to get the Blood Rager value was pretty substantial. I still do think it was worth it, but could be wrong. And again, I don't really know if I should see that coming, because I did analyze like whether to build this engineer, as I recall, right? Like, let's watch me. Yeah, I like went back and forth on it, and I was talking about how, like, based on the amount of attack he had and the amount of defense I was planning to have, and the fact that I thought he would build some Hellhounds, that I might need 1 more defense. I probably could have concluded, like, well, how much attack is he really going to build next turn, right? He's going to have to block a lot. But if he'd managed to build even 1 attack, I would have needed that 3rd engineer, right? This extra engineer, because I'd be just barely defended having built it. So I think it was probably right. He could have cut the infusion grid to build a Hellhound, which seems better to me, but anyway, I got that Blood Rager, which was really nice, and then it was time to let the Blood Pacts begin. I had a lot of trouble with this turn, huh? Couldn't decide between several good ways to defend, or several interesting ways to defend. Went with the Blood Pact a bit earlier in the game than I had expected to. But it was great because I got out another infusion grid to go with it, right? You make use of the promptness of Blood Pact to let you get some non-prompt value out of infusion grid. And then I made use of it again to get out like a Hellhound, right? I was using these Blood Pacts not just to barely stay alive, but to make high value plays, right? Building infusion grids, building Hellhounds. And he was having to defend immediately with the Grimbotches I was giving him, which makes Blood Pact even better. I feel like he maybe should have built some Hellhounds sooner than he did. Like, I don't know. What about this turn, actually? If he attacks with everything, he needs to arrange 8 defense, which is like a Polywall and a Blood Pact. But I guess if he does that, he can't do anything else that turn. Yeah, I guess that's pretty bad. What if he were to just build 2 Blood Pacts instead? And then, like, he'd have $10 left to build Steel Splitter or something? Oof, I don't know. Seems pretty bad. Oh, 2 Infusion Grids would be an interesting play, right? 2 Blood Pacts and 2 Infusion Grids? He's not building attack, but he's at least getting good value. I don't know. And I think here, like, I just had to play somewhat carefully, count how many Grimbotches he was going to be losing, try to squeeze in attackers when I could, try not to run out of Blood Pacts. Wow. Yeah, I don't run out of Blood Pacts too often, but they're a good unit now. and then it just sort of fell apart. Cool. So what was I talking about? I was going to say there's something I wanted to talk about after we did this analysis. Was it to do with stats? No. Because I thought of it right at the end of the game. Huh. Does it do with any of my opponents? I don't know. Maybe I was just talking about the tournament somehow? I don't know, it's a mystery. Well, that was nice. 2 wins in a row. Rank 106. Not quite there, but another win or 2 could do it. Oh, maybe I wanted to look at skins for some reason? Skins. Let's look at what I have equipped. Just at, like... I don't know why I would be thinking of skins. It's a mystery. I don't really want any of these. Oh, I do. I never turned on my Psycho Cauterizer. Look at that. Well, that's a crying shame. I've been playing without that. But that's about all. I don't like the coal-fired steel forge that much, do I? It's alright. I'll take it, I guess. Something in a replay? No, I don't know. Well, okay. Go rewind the footage and find out what it was I wanted to talk about, and then just talk to yourselves about it for a little while. I'm sure it'll be fun. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.